Bonjour, St. Francis. Bonjour, people of God. It is Monday, the 28th day of the month of July 2025. It is Monday of the 17th week of the year, the 17th week in ordinary time. And why begin with crappy French like I have? It's because I am in Paris, and there is the Luxembourg Palace. So not Italy this time around, but the Societas Liturgica Conference begins today, the International Liturgy Conference for the world, people in the world who want to do liturgy. And we're meeting today, or this week, in Paris. And so morning reflection today with Luxembourg Palace, the Palais Luxembourg, the home of Marie de Medici, the mother of Louis XIII, built in the 1600s for her, with the magnificent garden that also was added to it. If you look then behind me on the left, or my left, perhaps your right as you're looking at me, there's the dome of the Pantheon, which was supposed to be the Church of Saint Genevieve, the patron saint of France, but during the Revolution it became a mausoleum, basically for all the French notables who were part of the revolution, a great resting place for them. Many of them, however, were guillotined, and some of them did not end up there to begin with. But hopefully we'll get over there during this week to get a picture of that. But the palace today houses the Senate of France. So 150 years, it celebrates its anniversary today. So magnificent building, magnificent grounds. The little pond that's behind me over there, beyond the green space over here, is where you can sail little boats if you want to during the day, during the nice months, to be able to have some fun that way. So anyway, here in France, the readings for today on this Monday of the 17th week of the year, Exodus. Moses has gone up to the mountain and God has given him the law. Now again, we've missed a lot of this because it happens on Saturday, but Moses has given God the law and he is going to bring it to the Israelites. However, he and Joshua, who was with him on the mountain, hear a great noise and disturbance from the camp below the mountain, and they're wondering, is it an attack? Is it some kind of victory? Is it whatever it is? And Moses says, no, it's revelry. And they're going to find out what the revelry is all about. And it's because, again, they have created a god for themselves, because Moses has been up on the mountain too long and they never thought he was going to come back down. So they asked Moses to create a god, and they create a calf, which, again, bull worship and things like that. It was a part of ancient cultures and things like that Israelites were around. But it's interesting, again, that they chose something like that. That's rather interesting. So, but the whole idea, with it is that they have objected, to God. They have objected to what God was trying to do for them. They have disregarded it, and so they need to be punished. And so Moses breaks the law, smashes it against the mountain, the tablets of the law, and then goes and has the calf melted down and ground into powder, which he sprinkles on water, and then makes the Israelites drink it. Again, how disgusting. So, but then again, who's going to punish them? Is God going to punish them? Should Moses punish them? And God says, I will do so in my own time, but you're going to continue to lead them, to the place where I have told you to lead them to. So, again, God's justice is slow in coming. God's justice, eventually does, take its place. But the idea is, again, that how fickle is Israel, and again, any other god or goddess perhaps would want to just destroy this people and find a new one. God does not. God basically stays with them, and God basically, continues to see something in them that is redeemable and that's able to be, useful to God and to God's purposes. Again, something to be said about all of us who fail at one time or another. Does God give up on us? No, God does not. In the same way, God did not give up on Israel. In Matthew's gospel today, what is the kingdom of heaven like, as Jesus says? And he compares it to two parables, the mustard seed and yeast. And again, small, perhaps insignificant, but important. And otherwise, mustard seeds help to produce mustard, which gives flavor to the world, and yeast, bread that helps us to be fed, and nourished by something wonderful. But the whole idea is, in this parable, is that the kingdom of God kind of infects something to make it even more wonderful. Something small, like a virus or a bacterium, whatever you have, becomes a part of something larger. That yeast that is needed with 3-4 measures of flour, whatever it is. Again, something that is added to something greater, but then makes that something greater become even more wonderful than it already is. The seed placed into the ground becomes the great bush, again, that many birds can nest in and things like that. This is the way the kingdom of God works in small measures, as by almost an infection that you don't see, a you might disregard, but it works, to continue to transform and to grow. We have to remember that, so that, again, we don't ever lose sight on what God's power is and how God's power works within this world. It isn't, in His grand, wonderful ways. It isn't through extraordinary measures, that are spectacular, supernatural. It is in those ways and through those things, in which God, in which we as human beings might disregard or might not give much notice to. There's the work of God and the wonder and beauty of God at work in our world. A blessed day from Paris, St. Francis, and people of God. May the Lord give you His peace.